What up, pedalheads? It's your main man, Eddie Motzi here, back with another edition of 5 Minutes or Less. That's right, heavy metal reviews at breakneck speeds. And we've got a good one for all of you today. But before we get into that, I just want to remind all of you to please hit that subscribe button. I also want to apologize about the audio issues. I'm having tons of trouble with the microphones here in the studio, so I'm working on it as quickly as possible to get you back the content. So anyways, we've got a good one, right? Pretty Reckless just came out with their fifth studio album called Dear God. That's right, Taylor Momsen had quite the year, actually, leading up to this point. She inducted Soundgarden in the Hall of Fame, reunited with Jim Carrey for the first time since whatever that movie was, The Grinch. And then she got bit by a spider while on tour with AC/DC. Pretty messed up shit, if you ask me. Anyways, but that all leads up to this very moment. That's right, Dear God, it's out. And there were some tracks that I really enjoyed on this record and then some that I thought were okay. But let's go with the good tracks. For I Am Death is a rock track that has some balls to it, and it builds and builds and builds in its momentum, and it's going to totally rock out. Then there's When I Wake Up, which is a track that, I got to be honest, it reminded me a lot of the Strokes, at least that high energy indie rock sound. I don't know why. I get a lot of impressions of a lot of different bands on this record, and I'll get into those. Love Me is a 90s alt rock track that sees Taylor begging for a connection, but also being quite cautious, which you've got to be in this day and age. Dear God is a post-grunge track that sees her trying to keep up with Chris Cornell. It's got that very Soundgarden, Audioslave kind of sound to it. And the misses are tracks like Dragonfire, which is just some kind of random acoustic folk track that builds into like elements of psychedelic rock, if I do say so, I think. And then you've got Spell on You, which is a random Halloween track, I guess, complete with organs. And then you got Roller Coaster of Life, which to me sounded like it was an outtake from Californication or any of the Red Hot Chili Peppers albums that got melodic and dark after that. And then there's Devil in Disguise, which I'm telling you, from the moment I heard it to the very, very end, I kept thinking, what is this track that I'm humming in my head that I've heard before? And then it was, oh, Dust in the Wind by Kansas. For some reason, it just kind of matches. Obviously, it's like they could have been inspired by that track and took it and, did their own thing with it, which is, there's nothing wrong with it. And like I said, these are not terrible tracks. They just didn't hit with me, is probably what I should say in the long run here. But the album is saved by, in my opinion, the last track on the record, which is called Dark Days. It's a really cool rock track that has a sort of Fleetwood Mac kind of feel to it. And I thought that was super, super cool because Taylor's voice is kind of, no pun intended, tailored for that kind of music, right? She's got a very Joan Baez, kind of Stevie Nicks, but not really kind of thing. She's got a little bit of bluesy raspiness to her voice, and it works perfectly on that song. So very cool way to end the album. Overall, after I've graded everything and put the grades all together of every single individual track, I got 4.1 stars out of 5. That's right, I do a 5-star system for those of you that are just joining us. And that's what I gave to it. Now, again, like I said, it's not a bad album. Just some tracks didn't hit with me and others did. And I definitely do think you should check it out. So that is all for now. I want to remind you all again, hit that subscribe button. I try to come up with as much content as humanly possible. I will see you all next time. And remember, stay metal.